Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about another great Nintendo 64 emulator that I found recently that is actually viable on a lot of speedrunning websites like speedrun.com, as long as you just follow the rules and such. And I do highly recommend this emulator over Project 64, and I still hold my stance even though I did get a few dislikes probably from Project 64, Project 64 users. I still, again, highly do stand by what I said, where I basically said just don't use Project 64 nowadays. Like, it's pretty goddamn outdated, and not only that, version 1.6, which is required by a lot of speedrunning websites, has a really big exploit where you can basically install a virus if you download a bad ROM, which I understand is not that hard to avoid as long as you just look in the right places, but still, man, it's still pretty goddamn risky. And not only that, just the 30-second nag screen before you even get the emulator up and running is incredibly annoying and really outdated, as I said. So again, I just highly recommend basically any other emulator like MoopN64, Parallel Launcher, like I said in the last video, or in this case, one that's actually speedrun viable, Rosalie's MoopN GUI, which again, highly recommend. I think it's better than Project 64 from what I've seen. And again, from what I've seen, it also doesn't have that stupid ass exploit. And why can I recommend this? Well, because it's pretty goddamn easy to set up like Parallel Launcher. Now, it's not as easy to set up. You still have to set up your controller. Meanwhile, on Parallel Launcher, I just selected a controller preset, and bada bing, bada boom, it just works from there. However, again, in Rosalie's MoopN GUI, you have to go into the input settings and just one by one input the settings, which really is not that much of a deal. It takes, as a whole, probably like 30 seconds. So, yeah, as I said, not that big of a deal. And once you do that, you can just run the ROMs. You don't really have to change a lot of the default settings from what I've seen, besides, again, the ones that are like required on speedrun.com if you plan on submitting there. But yeah, as I said, it's just very, very easy to use, pretty easy to set up, pretty easy to set up your controller and all that. And as soon as I downloaded the executable, because for some reason the zip file just didn't work. Whenever I tried to play one of my ROMs, it just showed up with a black screen. But once I downloaded the executable, it worked perfectly fine. Again, once I set up my controller, and then boom, I was just in. I didn't need to change any of the default settings, even for like specific ROM hacks where it says on like Project 64 that you're going to want to change some settings. Even for those ROM hacks, like a big example being Uzamune's practice ROM, even for that ROM hack, I don't have to change anything. The default settings work perfectly fine. And by the way, for those wondering how I've progressed in speedrunning Mario 64, honestly, not that much. I'm still really trying to nail Lobby BLJ. In fact, let me get my controller real quick. This is the exact controller I've been using for about a month, and I've only been using it for about a week for Mario 64, probably even less than that. And already, now I will say that I did drop this controller once on a pretty hard surface, so that could also, and probably is, one of the contributing factors to why the analog stick is like this. But as soon as I hold it to the left, as you can see, there's like a pop there, and that's from me practicing LBLJs, because I will say I am also very heavy-handed when it comes to controllers, especially with this analog stick. For some reason, whenever I get like really, I get into like real intense mashing mode, because you have to do that in order to get the LBLJ pretty consistently. I really just fucking jam this this analog stick in the top right, and that's probably why it's doing that like popping noise. So I did get a replacement recently, so I'll just use that instead from now on. But yeah, that is just something that is developed on this controller. But as I said, I've just been practicing LBLJs, and I've gotten pretty close, I would say. I have the long jump down in the clip down where you actually get into that area and then do the long jump. Like, I got those first two steps perfectly down, I would say. I'm pretty consistent at those. When it comes to actually BLJing, though, I'm still having trouble. Maybe it is because this A button is pretty fast to rebound, so I have to click it a lot of times, like pretty fast, and hurt my hand in doing so. But even still, as I said, I still am kind of struggling with the BLJ. I'm pretty sure I did get the clip into the first Bowser stage once, and that was about it. That's all I got. All the other times it seems like I rather don't get enough speed, so I don't clip behind the wall to, turn the camera. You've probably seen it before, to clip into the first Bowser stage, or I get enough speed, but I clip into the wrong area, what's that place called? The fucking snow level. I already forgot the name of it, but yeah, Snowman's Land. I'm pretty sure it's called that, but not Snowman's. I forgot the name, but the snow level, like the very early snow level, I clip into that very, very often. So I think I am just messing up like the camera movement, or maybe just holding the control stick in the wrong area. But yeah, again, I will definitely practice it more and more and more, especially once I start to use a replacement controller. So yeah, that is basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.